This podcast and all who listen to it, all who participate in it, are all divinely protected and perfectly safe in all time, in all space, as I am, so mote it be. I'm a witch. Welcome to I'm a Witch. My name is Tony James. I'm your host, and welcome to my podcast. It's a new podcast, but not an old thing for me because I've been podcasting for so many years. But this time, I'm focusing on one thing and one thing only. All things witchy. So that's actually a lot of things. My cat is over here doing his thing behind me, just kind of scratching at the blinds when we ask him not to. But anytime I want to do something else other than give this gorgeous 16-pound black cat, come here, monkey. Do you hear him in the background? Come here. No, he's not into it. And his name is not Monkey. We just call him that. Welcome to I'm a Witch. And this podcast is very special to me because it came to me instantly and most spontaneously, and it was blessed by the star card of the tarot. And I knew right when I wrote, well, I didn't write it, I created it on Logic Pro, baby. Go for it. I created that opening number and I thought, this is it. This is the new podcast. Let me tell you what happened to my old podcast, since we are getting witchy about things. Sometimes you will put so much energy into something and maybe 6 years or so go by and maybe thousands of minutes, hundreds of hours of audio just disappear. That happened to me, you guys. So if you're thinking about, oh my God, if you're going to start a podcast, save every fucking episode. Come here, monkey. Come here. Come talk to me, baby. Come here, monk. Oh, listen to him over there. Our cat wants to go out. But here's the deal. He's an inside cat, and we live in a big-ass city, and he recently thought he was going to run out into a parking lot, and that's not happening again. Not on my watch. Not you 2-year-old gorgeous little magical fluff of black and magic. You are not going out there. I had this inspiration last night, and I'm just experimenting with it now for the first episode of I'm a Witch. A little background, and get over here. You're distracting me. Do you want me to go to my music studio? I will. And then what would you do? You'd be left here all alone, not listening to me talk into this microphone. Get over here. Monkey, come here. I had no clue my podcast was going to turn into me talking to the cat, but that's okay because he deserves it. Actually, a fun story about our cat. And why not? Let's just jump into it. Go with it, as they say. I used to teach improv acting at college level, by the way. I'm not going to say where, but I did it. And I was really good at it. Monkey, get over here. Ugh. He just stands at the door, and if I don't give him the attention he needs, he gets really upset. But sometimes animals and familiars need to learn that, we're... Oh. Now he's just lying down, staring at me right when I'm talking. He's like, Daddy, are you talking shit to a bunch of people about me? How dare you? When we knew that we were getting this cat a couple years ago, Seattle was full of riots. The city was full of chaos, and rightly so. Black Lives Matter, most importantly, at this time still. And I hope that continues to build momentum. But at that time, chaos was in the streets, and we knew that we were getting this kitten, and we, as a couple, had a moment with the goddess Bast. Some might say that, worshipping ancient deities, chia pets, is not a good thing, but Some people might say that, you know, close practice to those ancient things. And I just thought to myself, well, you're full of shit because you don't know how they worshiped and you don't know how I worship. So don't tell me I can't. Of course, there are living traditions that are actively still doing that, but ancient Egypt is something to look into, y'all, because it's a very powerful diaspora of deities. It's a very powerful alignment if you just gather the strength to really delve into some of the text. But I'm the type of person that will do my research, but I most oftenly will call upon the deity in the name that I understand it to be. I align with that deity, and we aligned with the goddess Bast, and we protected our gorgeous little baby boy in the womb of the mother of the cat. The mother cat. We protected that cat. We wished upon that cat that that cat be everything we've ever wanted in a familiar, in a pet, in a friend. And let me tell you, folks, that magic worked. Call on Bast. If you have cats, don't just tell yourself, well, I'm white and I can't because I should be calling on Freya. Look, they're ancient. They're ancient. These practices are not being practiced like they were practiced. I don't even think that tradition is even passed down. It's so ancient. It's so old. Align with these deities. They wish for you. They long for you to worship them again. They do. They do. They call to you all. Just as Christ and all the Allah and all those Buddha, all those dicks out there just kind of like crossing swords trying to hold the power down. Yeah, they're out there, but there's deities like Ganesh. I love the remover of obstacles. I love that God, that Lord, the great Lord. What I'm trying to get to is the deities are not worshipped by millions and millions of people like they used to be, hundreds of thousands, I don't know. But they're just sitting there after all this enlightenment, after all these praise, after all this energy, all this life they were given by humanity. And then all of a sudden now, 2,000, 6,000, 8,000, 10,000 years later, they're just kind of waiting for some of us to grab hold of the goddess and God and just run with it. And trust me, just like the Christians say how their God gives them energy, I assure you, and I'm not trying to freak you out. And Christians, if you're listening to this, don't make me a target. I have my own relationship with Jesus Christ. I was, at one point in my life, I had to be baptized twice to get it right. And yeah, I still don't think they got it. No, don't make me a target. I'm just talking about, other things. There are other things out there that are just as powerful and just as meaningful and just as perfect and just as forgiving and just as for light. There's lots of light in the goddesses and gods, and there's lots of darkness, and there's lots of little gray areas you can dip your toes in, all you chaos folks. I just want to teach you a few things as a witch, and first, I guess it would be most appropriate for you to know my background. Who is this old 50-year-old gay guy talking to his cat into a microphone at the middle of the night on where am I? August 17th, Wednesday. It's 12:21 a.m. The witching hour. I started this right at 12 on August 17th. This is not the birth hour. No, last night kind of was, but this last full moon, y'all. Hey monkey, stop it. Get over here. he just he has to have me talking to him at all times. Great Bast, thank you for this gorgeous moment with this gorgeous cat. I get to live with this gorgeous baby interrupting me, and I love it. And that is the truth, y'all. If you have kids, I assume it's very similar, but after a while, it's just like, come on, I'm doing my own thing. Get over here, be part of my thing. Even though you are part of my thing, I just want to hold you. I'm talking about teaching you about things that are just different in the ways of witchcraft. I am very different. I am a very queer minded individual. I am gay as the day is long. I'm also pretty asexual at this point in my life. I don't have to be. It's just kind of the alignment I'm in. I use that word a lot in this podcast intentionally. Many years ago, and I'll just give you an actual time reference, 1999, Halloween, October 31st. My friend, who was a priestess of a coven from Mount Saint Shasta. I was going to say Helens, but it was Mount Shasta, and it's witchy as fuck down there. And she was a part of a all-woman coven, and she met us, a couple gay dudes, not the person I'm with now, but a couple gay guys who, are doing our magic thing and moving into a path of really, really just accepting the fact that, wow, we are witches. Wow, this is a trip. She said, yes, I'll initiate you. Let's do this. October 31st. It was, I believe, a waning moon, like the last sliver of Hecate's smile. And we were in a very cold, cold, dark night out in a cemetery just just slightly out of Ashland, Oregon, on the lake. There's a man-made lake there, and she took us there, and we took our initiation. And the next day, we moved up to Portland, Oregon, and wow, let me tell you something. Once you take that initiation and just really say, I'm a witch. It's just that simple. My whole life, this is what I am, and I'm choosing to take the. Now, look, you don't have to initiate yourself. You don't have to be initiated into a coven. You can just say, hey, I'm a fucking witch, man. Like, all these things in my life just add up to a very simple fucking thing. I'm a very powerful, weird, witchy motherfucker, and I'm a witch. The reason I named this podcast this is because it came to me, for one. And then, of course, I did my research and I'm like, is there a podcast with this title? What a great fucking title. Like, I can go with this. All things witchy. I'm a witch. I can just, I can talk to anybody and everybody. Well, I've been kind of addicted to Pam Grossman out of New York, and she has a wonderful podcast, The Witch Wave. I love that podcast, and it's really funny because I had a podcast for so many years, y'all. It just devastates me at times to think that I had thousands and thousands, 6 years of audio that just died because the podcast hosting platform just didn't tell anybody really that they were going under, and then all of a sudden everything that I did was gone. And it's because over 6 years, as you know, if you're a podcaster or anybody who uses electronics to document anything, holy fucking shit, back that shit up, my friends. If you're starting a podcast, just like I'm going to do from here on out, from this podcast on, this episode on, you better save that shit to a hard drive somewhere. I lost it all. I mean, I have some episodes, but it's just like I had almost 500 episodes at 15 minutes each was the duration of these podcasts. I interviewed people in shows. I'm a performing artist here in Seattle, and I've done everything from cabaret to band shows to just drag shows, everything. And I just interviewed everyone, and holy shit, it was all gone. So I know what I'm doing with these podcasts. I know how to edit if I need to, but for me, I like to try to keep the stream of consciousness going because to me that is the most interesting form of listening. When I listen to a highly monkey, a highly edited podcast or anything really, it's noticeable to me and it bothers me. Monkey, get over here. He just has to be a part of this. So here's another fun thing, and that's okay. I love you, Max. Come here. Come over here. He ain't gonna come. He's just gonna keep on. Oh, oh, come here, monkey. Hold on. You know what? I'm gonna put my earphones down. Can you still hear me? I don't know if you can. Come here, monkey. I'm coming to get you. Here we go. Oh, mister. No, we're not going outside. We're not going outside. You want to know why? You want to know why we're not going outside? Because last time I took you outside, you decided you're going into the goddamn fucking parking lot, and we're not going to do that anymore. Here, meow for these guys. Meow. I have this big ass cat. Now he's smelling the microphone. Here, you go underneath there. God, he's so big. He's like holding a fucking big furry raccoon. Well, I assume raccoons are very furry. I have never held one that I remember. Oh, a dead one once. That was awful. But that's neither here nor there. But I did buy, oh, I did write by that. You know what? There was this huge raccoon outside of our house in Portland, Oregon. And my partner, who I was initiated with, and we moved to Portland the next day after we were initiated from Ashland to Portland. Magic to magic. Both places are magical as fuck. I highly recommend them. Big ass raccoon lying out there in a parking spot, just like outside our house. And I'm not going to say where it was at, but, there was like a bar down the street and, it was on a street. So we shovel up this huge raccoon, and it was, and we took it to the backyard and we buried it. And of course we gave it some love, and I remember it was very furry, and it was very dead, and I felt horrible for it, but we did right by it. We got it out of the street. It was just too gorgeous. It was just too beautiful. And then I think 2 nights later there was a whole family of raccoons outside in our backyard, and they were having their own funeral with his body. And to this day, I feel like the raccoon spirit is with me, and also the crows, and definitely the cats, as you can hear. I picked him up, brought him over here. You heard it. So my background is I got this initiation right, but prior to that, as a child, I was always so come here. Come here, gorgeous. So addicted to trees, any kind of tree. And I grew up in southern Oregon, and there are trees. There's magic. Oh my God, the valleys, the Mediterranean feeling in the air. It just was powerful as fuck. Just like Seattle, but in a different way. Yeah, monkey, come here. Oh, you gonna come here? You gonna talk now? Oh, he's like, brrr. Big black cat. He likes to talk. Oh, what's going on over there? Oh, he's scratching behind me. So I was addicted to trees. I love to climb them. I love to hug them. I love to sit in their shadow. I love to touch them. I love to look at them. I love to draw them. I would always draw this tree in art class with a hole in it, and like later in life, I'm like, oh yeah, that's all symbolic of not only my need to go into that hole and just find a different world, because I love the trees, but I was just kind of projecting forward to this magic. Pardon my burp, but I'm not gonna go back and edit that, because why should I? Because that's the thing. Everybody just edits everything. Just stay in the moment. So this podcast, I don't know exactly the route or the route or the path or the playground we're going to go to discuss certain witchy things, but I assure you that my old podcast, Seattle Sauce, which none of you have heard of, because everything's better with sauce. Everybody thought it was like a cooking show, but it wasn't. It was like a hodgepodge audio of all of my life here in Seattle and all the things that I've done, like all the little fun little fucking uh, shows I was a part of, cabarets, the shows I produced, just the band shows, just everything that I have done since I moved back here. And it was really a passion of mine, and it's sad that it's gone, but this is here now. And I want to tell you another magical thing. So, right now, we are technically in my apartment. You are hearing me record from that. And that's a good place to be because this is a temple. It's a temple. Is your home a temple? Is your bedroom a temple? Do you have a temple to call your own? And I use that word because it is so important for some of you. Church, you got your church. Okay, girl. You go work your sacred things there. You need a space to do you, to protect you and yours and your loved ones and all your things. A place to work your magic, a place to feel safe, a place to call your own. And that's why homelessness needs to be eradicated because everyone should have a place to call their own and a place they can go to and recharge. Do you have a temple? I do. And I'm recording from it right now, but I also have a band space here in Seattle. I'm in a band called L80. Look it up, Lady. And we're kind of like, like pop witch, kind of like Depeche Mode, Yaz kind of thing. Pop, poetic, witch, craft music. I don't know what you would call it. It's just a lot of fun and it's dark at times, but it's mostly upbeat. And it's called Lady, L80 Lady. Do you get it? Look us up, Lady Productions on YouTube. You're gonna find it. It's really a lot of fun, and I'm the older, fat one. Um, and you know what? I bet you anything if I try to get my co-star in that particular band on this podcast, that would be a lot of fun. Because he has a whole other approach to the idea of magic than I do. I didn't grow up Catholic. I grew up just with a single mom and my brother, and ran about and I was free and I ran through the forests and I played guns, and I also, worshiped the trees and the nature, and we went camping and all those things, and that just kind of made me. I'm a witch. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ever just like kind of like you finally own your power? That's what I'm hoping I can pass on with this podcast because I can align you with so many things and all these things will come to you eventually. But I have been working galactic witchcraft. I have been working Isiac, Isis magic, the goddess Isis. I was initiated into that as well. We'll get into that another day. I have aligned with her and several ancient Egyptian deities, and they were there for me, and there was no problem aligning with them. They were working through me, for me. I was also a part of a group who worshiped Dionysus for a while. And what I would like to get into just for this podcast, because I call this segment Let's Get Witchy. Let's get witchy. Coven or no coven? Group magic or no group magic? What do you do? Well, after so many experiences over the years with dynamic group magic, and I'm not talking just in magic circle or sphere, as I like to call it, magic space. I've done so much theater, dance, bands, all of it's magic circle, and I am pretty much found in a space now where I find myself just working that good individual magic, and I don't necessarily need a coven to get things done. I get things done myself, but there are people that need that incredible encouragement and that incredible dynamic of having people, playing. I shouldn't say that. People that are the high priestess and priest of the coven. I find hierarchy just disappointing now after so many years of just abuse of power by people in power. I have. I don't like it. I don't like to feel that way, even though I am in a place of absolute kind of power in a job situation I'm in for the first time in my life at 50 years old. I've earned it, and I am doing the best I can, and I'm trying to be the best leader as I can. But in those magical circle situations, I have learned too many people have too much other shit going on. So, how could I expect them to focus on the exact magic that we are trying to focus on, and for them to send that magic out for all of us? Not that I have a problem with any kind of group magic or coven magic. Please don't come for me on that. I'm trying to just say I am a practitioner that likes to really, really delve into my own magic at this point in this part of my life. But this, in its form, is now opening up to a whole realm of public magic and coven magic in its own way. You're listening, you're going to have an opinion about this. You might think good things, bad things. You might take something from it. You might even just like join in and you're just like, oh my God, I love this podcast. I love the magic that Tony teaches me, and I just am going to keep on listening. I just want you to know that the passion I have for this teaching now is so real, and that if I can do it through audio, great. If I could do it in person, even better. But what I want to pass on is very simple techniques and very simple things that I've learned for magic, and also just talk with all the crazy, amazing people in my life. And there are so many witches in my life. There's so many witches on this planet. Everybody can say, I'm a witch. No, but really, in Seattle, like there are so many people that say they're witches, and at one point, as an older witch, since I was initiated in 1999, I'm 22 years ago, and even before that, I've always been a witchy bitch, more galactic before I became a Earth bound kind of like, oh, okay, the Earth, it's her. There's so many of them around here, and everybody has their own. I'm a chaos witch. I'm this. I'm that. I have a coven. I'm somebody's grandma. I'm somebody's nephew. There's a lot of witches in Seattle, and I love it. Just to be around this community of magical folks is so wonderful. The ones that try to, fuck with other people, they end up just leaving. It's really funny, actually, to see the group dynamic of the coven of a city of witches. It's fun to watch, and yeah, some of them have their little moments with each other and all that, as far as like, magical gatherings and such. But as a queer, eclectic, galactic, time traveling witch, I really don't have time to necessarily integrate other people's bullshit into what I'm doing. Unless I'm working some sort of band situation or artistic project, of course I'll take the input. But as far as magic, I have my own goals. I have my own deities definitely talking to me. I am definitely in alignment with a lot more than I used to be. And as an older witch, you just kind of get to a point where it's like, I just want to be the old witch on the outside of town of a bunch of pagans, but they come and see me because they know I'm the old witch in the house outside of the village, doing all kinds of magic for them and for myself and for nature. For the mother goddess. Today, legislation, the biggest environmental legislation was passed and put into law and I don't have that information in front of me, but I did giggle for joy because I was like, finally, finally, one of these old fuckers, finally, they are letting go of the gas and the energy and all these things. All that shit should be free. It should be free. It should solar power, internet, electricity, healthcare, all that, just the basic necessities of life. They absolutely should be fucking free. And why aren't they? Why aren't they? So, to give incentive to get these fucking nimrods to switch from all this electricity and gas and all this stuff, give them incentives to switch to a cheaper version, which is, like solar power, wind power, like, oh my God, solar power. I have a scooter that can go like 28 miles on a charge, not with my fat ass on it. And I'm only fat shaming myself, but I am running these days and I'm losing weight. So don't come for me. He fat shames. He totally did. No, he fat shames himself because he doesn't like to be or feel or know that he's fat. He looks in the mirror. He doesn't like what he sees. He's changing it. I have this scooter, right? And it can take me all the way around the city basically on one charge. And it just gets to a point in my life where I'm like going by all these cars that are putting out this gas and stuff. And I'm like, why do we even allow vehicles, gas vehicles in this city? It should all be electric vehicles. It should all be people on scooters. If you live in the area, you get from here to here. Of course, you could have your vehicle, your car to get out of the city and shit. But if you're only going like 30 miles, get on your bike that's electric, get on your scooter that's electric, get your ass to and from work, charge it at work, and get your ass back home. Save some money. Here's some incentive. So at least we have one old guy in there just kind of trying. But, someone could listen to this and be a dump supporter and think, he knows nothing about what's really going on with the government. All I know is that some legislation passed that might possibly help the goddess that I worship, the earth, a little bit more than they were doing a few months ago. I'm a witch, and at this point, I can't wait to do more of these because I feel like I could teach you all something a little bit more than you thought you knew about witchcraft, because witchcraft to me is such a sacred, wonderful practice that has been changing and morphing into such an acceptable form for everyone and anyone in any religion. They can adopt these ideas and run with it because it is pure, it is magic, it is free. It is pure, it is magic, and it is free, folks. Don't be scared of your inner witch. Let him, her, they, them, all of them out. Let them all out. Because guess what? You're all of them. This is I'm a Witch. My name is Tony James. My cat, Maximus Prime, is over here just listening in. And I want to thank you for taking this moment with me to explore my stream of consciousness. And now I'm going to let you go.